Hey, we're popping on a little early tonight because I'm tired and I got to get up early for work tomorrow. Ben, how's your new schedule going? How are you doing?
I'm glad I don't work tomorrow or tonight. Tonight, I guess, whatever it's called tonight. Yeah.
Right.
So I'll take that. That's
You
about
got,
it.
I
I'm
mean,
just. As you see, I'm rubbing my eyes, and I'm. I don't even know what I'm doing half the time.
tell people what you're up to now. You just switched to overnights here. Different job, but different shifts too.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I'm doing something that I did. You know, I don't know if it was probably a smart idea, but it's done with now. I did it, so I can't exactly go back and not do it. So it's yeah. I don't know.
Well,
A few
hopefully,
years ago, I was, when I was younger, I was overnights during, for like about 3.5 months every, Christmas season. And I was in charge of a truck and a bunch of people working with me and under me and whatever. And it was a lot of work and a lot of stress and blah, blah, blah. But then I would also have to do that during the daytime when I come off overnights, and then also have to open the store and close the store and all that kind of stuff. What I'm doing now is working overnights, and I thought I was just going to be a scrub who just shows up and just work stuff.
yeah.
And unfortunately, because the manager knows I used to be a guy who was in charge of stuff and knows how to do stuff, now I'm like in charge of this area that's always a mess, and it always has to be cleaned and organized, and there's never a plan, and there's never organized. So I'm constantly going to have to be reorganizing things every day of my life. And I'm actually not too thrilled, but we'll see what happens with that.
Well, maybe at the Red Bullseye, you'll jump up the ladder here quick and get on a
No,
better,
I don't want that though. That's the thing. I'm done with the whole up the ladder crap.
maybe better shift though.
I want to be a no. I want that shift. I
Oh,
hate customers. I hate people. I don't know if you notice that or not. I don't like people.
you don't hate people. You just
Yeah,
people
I hate them
shopping
all.
is another
No, no,
story.
no. I hate all people.
Oh, come on, not all
I
people.
even hate myself.
There's
So I
plenty of
mean,
people. Come on, there's plenty of people that come on our show and chat. You don't hate those people.
sometimes.
Wow. Hey, Lee said he was glad we were on for tonight. Balaz said he was glad to hear it that we'd be on for tonight. So here you go.
Yeah, but they're expecting us at 9 o'clock. We're super early all of a sudden and messing with everybody's
You
stuff.
gotta be early.
And not only that, my venture. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, everybody's wearing
the
them
thing
now.
that I create. And who created it?
You.
Me. I created it myself, and now I get to watch everybody else make money off it.
Every
I
NFL player.
created.
Every NFL player now has long hair, and they all need these to keep the hair out of their eyes. And you're the one that
And who started it?
you. And how did you start it? Tell everybody what this is. How did you start it? How did you come up with it?
Well, I was playing basketball, and I had long hair, and when I would put my hair back, it would all come flopping out half the time, and it annoyed the crap out of me. And I had some T-shirts with crusty pits, and I said, how about if I cut these crusty pits off? And then I can wear that shirt as like a muscle shirt, show off my guns. And then also take that sleeve and stick it on my head, and it'll keep my hair out of my face when I'm playing basketball. So I killed two birds with one stone. Hair out of my face and showing the pipes, showing the guns.
Which
And I scared people. Remember that one game? I scared that one guy. He was scared to death.
Hafemans are well known for our guns too, by the way.
No, I had no guns, but I was kind of overweight. I was about the size I am now, probably. I don't even know. Maybe not this big, but my gut wasn't as big, but my chest looked big.
Dude, I'm just saying, Dad didn't give us a hell of a lot genetically to like build muscle. It's not, even if we tried, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look like other people who actually form muscles.
Hey, just so you know,
right.
Heads up.
Yeah.
This week, I've actually worked hard for the first time in about six years. Well, no, I worked hard for 3 years at Barnes & Noble when I was there. but I didn't move. I just kind of lifted heavy boxes of books all the dang time, but I wasn't walking around. So I developed a gut and I developed shoulders, from lifting heavy boxes. But this week for me, running around all over the place and doing crazy stuff on overnights and not eating as much and then like sleeping. I actually slept pretty good a couple of days for once. I've lost 6 pounds in 4 days. Now, I was fat and overweight before that, and I still am, but it's still, hey, it's happening. But anyways, back to the story. The head sleeve, the Ben Hafeman head sleeve, was designed by me in the mid-90s, 1995 or so, whenever that was. Actually, it might have been before that. I think I designed it back in 93. Or
Really?
no, 94 when I had really long hair.
Wow.
Yeah, because when I had super long hair, because it was even more annoying. I didn't play basketball then, but I did have long hair and it was annoying. So when I tried to do stuff, it was in my face. So I designed the head sleeve. And now, I should have freaking put a patent on it. I should have marketed that crap. I'd be a millionaire. I wouldn't have to work hard anymore. I would just be making money off my head sleeves.
What could have been? And I'll tell you, I don't know who's producing and selling those things.
Under Armour.
If these guys actually realize that all you had to do is cut your short sleeves off your old t-shirts and you didn't have to spend all that money on
that was the fatal flaw of my design, was that anybody could do it. It wasn't even that hard. So that's why I didn't think there was a venture in it. But apparently it's kind of like bottled water. Anybody could just get water, but apparently people will spend up the wazoo for bottled water. And apparently people in the NFL will buy marketed head sleeves when they could just chop off the sleeve of their old t-shirt. It'll do the same dang thing. Whatever. All I know is every Packer player, Devontae Adams, Aaron Jones, Devondre Campbell.
Even MVS wears it. He has short hair.
MVS has short hair and he wears one.
That's just trying to keep the sweat out of your eyes, maybe a little bit too. It helps with that too, right? Yeah.
And Jalen Smith, the new guy, he wears one. So I could have been a millionaire.
What could have been, bro?
And I didn't have any business acumen. I don't know. I wasn't much of a businessman. How would I know what to do?
I got to tell you, I didn't see the future in it either when you were doing it. I thought,
I was weird.
No, well, partly a little bit, but I also thought after I thought about it for a while, I was like, well, that's a productive use of an old shirt piece, right? Those sleeves kind of get holes in them anyway, and they're coming off anyway. So, hey, you're repurposing it. I was like, well, it's something. I didn't see it blowing up like this, 30 years later. But
hey, a fun fact: the first ever head sleeve, just so everybody wants to know, what shirt it came from. It came from a 1989 Batman from the movie Batman the movie T-shirt, but it wasn't a yellow Batman sign. It was just a black shirt, and it had a hot, because this was the 89, so it was like the late 80s, early 90s was the hot pink era and the hot like fluorescent colors. It was a fluorescent pink Batman shirt. I wore that thing so much that the pits were so crusty and the holes were so crusty that I had to cut. I wasn't wear. I couldn't wear it anymore because it looked so bad. But then after I cut the sleeves off, the crust was gone, and I was like, oh, I can't wear this shirt again. And then people would be like, you put that crusty sleeve on your head, and I'm like, okay, first of all, the crusty part is in the back underneath my hair. Nobody sees that because I don't put the crusty caked on, And then later on, I realized it was not crust from like nastiness. It was crust from like the deodorant I had used. Where nowadays, the deodorants have gotten much better. They don't leave as much crust, if anything. Like I haven't had crusty sleeves since college days because I changed my deodorant. But we're getting off topic.
Smart.
Of Packer stuff. But what I'm saying is, it was the 1989 Batman shirt with the hot pink logo instead of a yellow logo, and it was awesome. You remember that shirt? It was awesome. I wore that shirt all the time. Plus, I had one too.
I had one too because I think Mom got them for us for Christmas. Same shirt. I think always get the same
but you
stuff.
never wore yours.
I did wear mine sometimes. Not nearly as much as you. Not nearly as much as you wore yours. So
no.
And I think I was 145 pounds. I think mine was an extra large, by the way, because that was what you did back then. You wore like severely oversized things if you're trying to be cool.
That's funny. I think mine was a large.
Well, you weren't trying to be cool. You were just trying to wear one that fit. I was trying to be cool. So I think I had an extra large.
But yeah, so hey, you know, so yeah, my life could be a lot different now. I could be rolling with Aaron Rodgers and Warren Buffett and all the millionaires, Mark Cuban. Maybe I don't own a basketball team by now, all because of the head sleeve. I screwed up.
Yeah.
I screwed up.
Well, ventures, it's always the things you don't go for, right? Although not that you realized it. But anyway, it's still useful to me. Look, I did that on one of my shirts and now I'm using it right now with my new hairstyle to keep it out of the way.
Yeah,
so
it works.
Very good. Very good. It is very effective and sort of stylish. Okay. We have more family news. And then we got Packers talk. So we should do some more, get the family news out of the way yet. Nobody's in the chat here yet. They're probably not on. Didn't realize we're going early. So we'll get the family news out. Okay, family news. Ben just had some news about his historical news about how he could have been an entrepreneur, made millions of dollars, didn't quite happen. I got some good family news. I am trying to be an entrepreneur with a business I started. And last night I was recognized at an awards ceremony. They gave me an award for my work with my business, but also kind of all the stuff I do. So that was pretty cool. I got received one of the awards last night at the Dane by Local Biz Awards. So very cool.
Yeah, I saw that on Facebook.
It's awesome. And I also put together a video with all these different interviews. Had to go back and use all my journalism skills, where you're going through like a 10-minute interview with people and find those little pieces you got to use and fit them together and all that. Put that together and put that out. And I was pretty happy with the way it turned out. It's not, it's not any wonderful camera work because we just did a bunch of interviews over Zoom and stuff. But the way I put the piece together, the pieces I use, how it fit, how it flowed, the music, everything I felt turned out really good. So that's online. If you check out Dane by Local, you can find it quick. But anyway, that was pretty cool last night. So there's a little family news. You got a little more family news from the younger generation. I saw your video from today. Pretty cool, dude.
Oh yeah.
She was rocking that snare.
It looks so funny to see her out there. So my 5'3", 100-pound, 15-year-old daughter is in marching band. And normally you would think a 5'3", 100-pound, 15-year-old would be playing like flute or clarinet or something like that. I mean, at least, okay. And she's a percussionist. So she's playing drums. And this summer I had to drive her to rehearsals all summer long almost for this, whatever this was. And everybody would just show up and they learned every single drum, the snare drum, the toms, the bass drum, the cymbals and everything else. And there were days where she was just on the cymbal, crash cymbal. And she'd come home and she'd like, oh my God, I do not want that. I don't want to do that. And then she'd come home after the bass drum. She's like, I cannot carry a bass drum. There's no way I could carry a bass drum. I'm too small and all this kind of stuff. And so they had to audition, and she's a sophomore. And this is the first year, because as freshmen, they don't get the summer over and whatever happens, right? So she goes in and, she learned all the tom parts, learned all the snare parts. She learned everything she could. And they had to go in and play all the parts for the director. And she is the only girl out of the percussionists. And there are other girls that are percussionists. But she's the only girl that got to play either a snare or tom part in the marching band. The other I think it's 5 girls. The other ones are all on bass drum or cymbals. And she's also one of the only sophomores that gets to play snare drum or toms. No sophomores get to play toms, by the way, just so you know, because toms, that's where all the action is, because you get to go do all the different drums. Snare drum, it's not as much fun. It's fun for the cadences, but when you actually play the songs, you're pretty much playing like on beat 2 and beat 4 and a couple things and click hits and weird crap like that. But anyways, so she's walking around, this 100-pound girl who's 5'3", and then everybody else in line is like 6 feet tall or a taller guy. And at the very end, you see this little tiny person, and she's got this drum that's as big as she is, and she's like, she looks okay, but I can't imagine how her back is feeling after that. But she stayed, her foot was right in rhythm. She's still playing right on the beat and doing her thing. but it looks kind of funny. It looks like a little kid out there with a bunch of grown-ups, but she's holding her own and she's doing her part, right? So it's kind of cool to see a little kid who's, she's not a little kid. I guess she's 15 now, but yeah, carrying
That's
her
awesome.
snare, doing her
Yeah.
snare. It's like 50 pounds. I think it's like with the snare drum and the harness and all that stuff, it's like almost 50 pounds.
Yeah.
And she's 100 pounds. It's just like, I don't know. And she's just like, but she's doing it. Hey, that's cool.
Yeah,
Good for her.
she was playing right on with everybody else. So it looked good. And those snare parts are fun. I didn't play snare in high school, but I played snare in a bagpipe band when I was in
That's
high
right,
school.
you did.
And
Now, but the real question is
pretty damn
hey,
fun, really.
Did you go commando with the bagpipe band when you wore your kilt? Or did you sneak underwear underneath, which you weren't supposed to? Which way did you go when you were doing that bagpipe band?
I wore underwear and shorts underneath the kilt.
Double layer. You're supposed to wear nothing.
Yeah. No. Okay.
You're supposed to go commando.
So we were in this bagpipe band, mostly younger kids playing like starter bagpipe instrument, whatever the heck that is. And then one kid who knew how to play the bagpipes, who was like the director guy's son, and he played the actual full-on bagpipes. And then we had his dad was like playing drums, and I was playing snare drum, and then we had a bass drum player, a couple other drummers. And they took us down to this big thing in Milwaukee, right? Because there's Milwaukee has this big like Scottish or whatever gathering, and it was like, oh my gosh, all right, the big whatever, and we're gonna go play at it. And we go down there, and it was loaded with people, okay? And they're all, all in the decked out garb, and they're all wearing kilts. All the guys are wearing kilts. And once I found out that all those guys were wearing kilts and nothing underneath the kilts, I was like freaking out, man. I was like, I was 15, I think, or whatever. And I was like, no way. And they're all talking about it. They're all just like, how's it feel under there? Oh, and kind of jabbing me because I'm like a young kid, how you doing there? Yeah, how's it feel? They're letting it flow. I'm like, stop talking to me, you weird old man. Not wearing any underwear under your kilt. And I was just hoping I wasn't going to get one of those Eric the Weasel shots where he like fell over and then tipped up in front of you, and then you saw everything which you didn't want to see. Because that guy's balls are weird looking.
You see that guy's balls? Yeah. They were weird looking.
Double doink, how you doing? He says, "Don't let her get whiplash." Yeah, we're just going over some family business here.
Well, Whiplash is that's a movie with the guy who plays Mr. Fantastic in Fant Four Stick, and the guy who plays J. Jonah Jameson, J.K. Simmons in the Spider-Man movies. And apparently, he's like a big fat jerk to the guy who plays Mr. Fantastic in Fant Four Stick. But it's supposed to be an awesome movie. I've never seen it. I want to see it. I forgot what it was called. Now that I see that, thank you, Double Doink. I remember what it's called. I can look it up and watch it.
Bravo.
No, what Olivia watches, my daughter, she likes to watch Danny Carey videos. That's the drummer from Tool. So she'll go online and there's all these like videos of Danny Carey playing Tool songs, and they just have like a video of just like they play the whole song. It's like it'll be like 13 minutes or whatever, or however long the song is, but the camera is just on Danny Carey. And he's got like all this, like a whole. Watch it sometime, Jace. Like you'll appreciate it. But it's like I think it's Numa. There's one called Numa. That's one of the newer songs that came out a couple years ago when their new album. It's just a camera on Danny Carey and all the little things he does and how he's doing like both of his hands and both of his feet are on different time signatures. It's like one of the craziest things you'll ever see. And he's like,
I can't.
And he's doing all this. It's just like wow. It's super fun to watch.
That's the stuff. Like when I was trying to drum, that's what made me stop. I hated my band teacher in middle school, but what really made me stop was the fact that I was just limited. Like I could play one drum, but when I was playing set and had to do all the different parts and feet and hands moving and different things, I kept screwing up all the time. And I was like, I just couldn't get past it. So I gave up. I probably You could have said maybe I should have worked through it, like Jalen Smith, the newest Packer, like who worked through a whole crazy injury and came through and did a bunch of good stuff for the Cowboys. And we'll talk about him in just a minute. But I couldn't do it, man. I just was like, and still to this day, like I'm okay. Two appendages at once, fine. But you add a third or a fourth in there and forget it. I just screw it all up. I do have one other good bit of news, one other good bit of family business. Then we move on to Packer Talk. And that's my ultrasound has been reviewed by physician and the team at UW Health, and I am clear. So I do not have polycystic kidney disease. I have clear kidneys. That they're, at least that part is saying I'm a good candidate for a donor. And now we can commence and move forward with other testing to see if I can be compatible for mom, who has a family genetic disease, polycystic kidney disease, one of the most prevalent diseases in the whole world that nobody hardly knows about. But it's really, really widespread. There's a whole bunch of it. It's genetic. And our mom has already had one kidney transplant over 20 years ago. Got one from her brother, but she's going to need another one probably soon. And so I'm looking in to see if I can do it. And I passed the first phase. So now we got to go on to the next phase pretty soon. So anyway, good news there.
Sweet.
Take one of those kidneys. Get it out of here.
Well, if yours is working good. People may not know. I mean, we had our grandpa had that. One of our aunts, two of our aunts.
We got cousins that are younger.
Cousins that are young that have it. Yeah, it's like
younger
everybody.
Than us.
There's a high percentage of it possibly happening. Now, when I turned 40, I went to the doctor because mom made me, and I got a bunch of tests and stuff, and they were like, "You're good." But that was 7 years ago. I'm 47 now. So, I'm assuming I'm still good.
Yeah.
Everybody says I'm a picture perfect, picture of perfect health over here.
Oh my God. You and Bill Middicky or whatever his name was. What was his name? Videographer who said he was the perfect American average.
He wasn't.
But or something.
He wasn't.
Sorry. Thanks, Double Doink. We appreciate that. And yeah, we're hopeful. Look, mom's had a good run. Most people with the disease, it ends up hitting hard in their 40s, where the kidney just becomes overrun with cysts, and then the kidneys shut down. And then there is no treatment, there is no cure, there is nothing, no medication, nothing they can do to slow it down, stop it, or whatever. The only option is then you go on dialysis because your kidneys don't work. And the other thing you then need to get off dialysis is a working kidney. And then what happens is they put the new kidney in you after kidney transplant, and then your body starts building cysts on that kidney. So there's kind of a clock on it. And mom's clock has been a little more than 20 years. And now her kidney function is going down, down, down. So we just got to get her another one. And hopefully that'll get her another 20 or more years. So that's what we're going for now. But yes, it's polycystic kidney disease. If you're interested in finding out more, you can look up PKD, polycystic kidney disease, find out more. If you don't know if you have that, but it might run in your family, you can check into it. Yeah, we've got cousins. Unfortunately, we've got like a couple cousins who are much younger than us who've had problems with it since they had like early onset, and they're already having problems when they were teenagers and stuff. So yeah, it's crappy, man. And there's nothing you can do. Nothing you can do. Except there is one interesting genetic thing about the power of beer. And that is that mom never drank beer before, never liked beer, didn't like the smell of it, didn't like drinking it, didn't any of it. She got a kidney from her brother, Uncle Don. And he said to her when he gave her the kidney, he was like, make sure you give that kidney some beer once in a while. It's used to it. And all of a sudden, no lie, all of a sudden, mom had once in a while occasional craving for beer after the kidney transplant. Never drank beer before, never wanted to drink beer before. So your kidneys have a memory, a beer memory at least. So mom, if you get one of mine, you're gonna have to give that one some beer too. Maybe a little bit higher, higher crafted beer than what your current kidney craves for. Because I'm used to drinking with all these craft beer guys. Anyway, and Rick's homebrew is the best. If you haven't had it, Ben, you almost had it, right? But then Rick,
He
what
wouldn't give
happened?
it to me. He didn't give it to me, man. I was there waiting
Terrible.
for it.
He probably knew you'd take one sip and then give it to Jesse, so he didn't want to waste it.
No.
All right,
So I
on
did
to
the other
the.
day.
Oh, Double Noise said had his first kidney stone last year, but nothing. Okay, yep, kidney stones suck too. So, anyway, take care of yourselves. Be safe. Be good. See the doctor when you need to. And yes, now a new Packer. Let's move on to Packer talk now that we're in here a ways. So I have to apologize. I was underwhelmed. I think I was just so disappointed by the Gilmore thing that I kind of glossed over the Jalen Smith signing. And now that I looked more into him, I'm kind of excited. I'm pretty excited about him. You know, here's one thing. I was reading this article that was talking about Jerry Jones commenting on the release and some of the other stuff, right? Now, the Cowboys have two linebackers. You know, they drafted Micah Parsons. They also have Keanu Neal. Those guys are really stud guys. They've kind of leapfrogged Jalen Smith.
They also drafted a guy in the 4th round this year, too. They drafted 2 inside linebackers this year.
Right. So, I mean, they kind of leapfrogged.
They pulled a Goody.
He had less time, less playing time and all that. But, I mean, let's just take a look at this here. Let's just take a look at this. Because, I mean, he's done quite a bit. I'm kind of impressed by his resume when I really look at it. So, sorry, I got to get to the right spot. Oh, I'm on the wrong share here. Let's go back there. Yeah, we're coming back. Let's take a look at what the guy's done, right? Because part of what you are is what you've done. Well, okay. He gets to start. You know, he got to play in 17. So again, his injury, he was projected to be like a top 5 pick. Then he had the ACL and LCL tears, a terrible injury at the end of his college years. So then all 2016 he sat out. 2017 he comes back, and in 6 starts he has 81 tackles. You know how many tackles Chris Barnes had all of last year? About 80 tackles. 81 tackles. So, okay. Then he starts 16 games, 121 tackles, 4 sacks in there, 142 tackles in 19. Last year, 155 tackles. And the Cowboys think he's washed up? I don't get it. Also, look at his coverage stuff. 20 passes defended already. I think that's more than Kevin King has in his career. And this guy's a linebacker and not a corner. Okay, so forced fumbles. He seems like he's around the ball. He's fast. He was like a 4.4 kind of 40 guy. And reading this article I read where Jerry Jones was commenting on some stuff, he said he was talking to, like, he was a leader on the Cowboys team, you know, big favorite in the locker room. And they were talking about when he was rehabbing from the injury. And they had all these veteran guys, Sean Lee, Jason Witten, some of these other dudes who were talking about watching Jalen Smith rehab. And they said, they're like, he is working harder at rehab than I've seen anyone ever, like harder than I would ever do it, harder than I've seen it. I mean, the guy was committed to coming back and pushing himself. He pushed himself farther and harder all the time to try to come back from the terrible injury. And he did, and he was productive. And now, in hearing Jerry Jones' comments, it was like on a local radio station or whatever. It's almost like he was trying to move on from him before the next injury.
Yeah.
Because they're eating $7.2 million just to cut him.
The problem is, this is the problem.
Tell me what I'm missing here.
Here's what you're missing. The Cowboys pulled a Goody. Okay. They had Leighton Vander Esch, and they had Jalen Smith, and they signed Keanu Neal, and then they drafted Micah Parsons with their 1st round pick, and Cox or something like that in the 4th round. So they signed a veteran inside linebacker. They already had 2 veteran inside linebackers, and they drafted 2 high picks at inside linebacker. Eventually, that's just not the smartest move in the world. Like, why would you do all those things? I mean, so here's what the thing is. they signed Smith to a 5 or 6 year deal. He's got like 5 years on his deal yet. But if he gets hurt, then this year, for some reason, he automatically gets paid $9 million next year, whether they keep him or cut him or whatever, doesn't matter. Even if he doesn't play it down, they got to pay him $9 million. And they already got to pay him the $7 million this year, no matter what. So they have enough players and potential at that position that they're willing to cut a guy who's still signed for 4 more years, pay him $7 million to play on another team, and to only have him hit the cap. I think next year's cap hit would be like $6 million or something, but it's just a cap hit of $6 million. But it would be a $9 million if he got hurt and they had to let him go. And because of their wealth at inside linebacker at this point, and obviously they've had 4 games to look and see that Micah Parsons obviously is a very good player, and they feel comfortable with Neal and comfortable with I think his name is Cox, but I can't remember. And then also Leighton Vander Esch, his play fell off last year as well, but the whole defense last year was bad, and I think it had more to do with Mike McCarthy and Mike Nolan than it had to do with the players, if you ask me. But that's besides the point.
McCarthy magic.
So they moved on because they have enough good players. Now, if only the Packers would do that same thing with a certain Smith that they have, because they have so many players at inside linebacker or outside linebacker, but they don't. But they should, because he's a distraction. But they won't do that. So instead, they're going to have 3 Smith linebackers on the team. And but it's one of those things where the Packers don't value inside linebacker. They never have. They draft a guy, I mean, this, 7th round, 5th round, undrafted free agent. They'll sign free agents like they do the last couple of years. Blake Martinez looks good. They let him go. The last high pick was AJ Hawk. Otherwise, it's just a bunch of nothing. So they're able to sign a guy for $700,000, league minimum. The Cowboys are going to pay him $7 million, and he's going to play on our team to prove that he wants to get paid after this year. So we have a motivated former Pro Bowler, went to Notre Dame. You're not a dummy if you go to Notre Dame, by the way.
Man,
they're pretty smart.
And if we had drafted the other Notre Dame linebacker, just watch out what this defense could be like right now. Ooh, sorry, I didn't mean to.
I don't even
dream for a second.
Right. So that's why it happened. Cowboys have enough play. Like it's their trash, but it's like caviar. Like they had too much caviar, and they're like, we got too much caviar. Let's throw that away. And then we're like the raccoons, and we're like, caviar? I've never had caviar before. The Packers don't even know what caviar is, but there it is, sitting in the garbage. And they're like, we'll take it. We're used to eating, French fries and gummy worms. We'll take some caviar. Because that's what we have at inside linebacker most of the time. French fries and gummy worms. Now we got some caviar. Let's see what he can do. His interview looks like a great guy, but let's hope he's not a Billy Turner who can talk great and then not show up on the field. So yeah, Billy Turner had a good game finally, sort of last week. Okay, fine, I'll give you 1 game. Okay,
a little credit. But rock solid Turner.
Here's my hot take on this guy.
Okay,
I believe that he's going to be the difference for this defense. And this sounds crazy. Do you know who the guy was who led the charge before the game against the Panthers on Sunday for the Cowboys? In the big win they had against the Panthers? Jalen Smith. Jalen Smith was the guy in the middle of the whole team getting the guys fired up to go. A guy who doesn't even start anymore, who barely plays. He only plays half the downs, if even that, the first 4 weeks of the year. Yet he was named captain. And it wasn't like he was like Dak Prescott wasn't there to lead it. No, Dak Prescott was standing next to him as Jalen Smith is the guy getting the guys going. Prescott's one of the guys there with them, like jumping and being like, yeah, all right. Like there's a video of it. You can see it. It's somewhere. After the game, Mike McCarthy named Jalen Smith captain for the rest of the year on defense. 2 days later, the Cowboys cut him. Makes no sense, But Matt LaFleur said the same thing. He has a presence about him. He has the play production on the field. He has a gravitas about him. He knows what to do most of the time, right? I believe this could be, I'm crossing my fingers, that this is the leader on the defense that we've been waiting for, the guy to hold other guys accountable. Now, he has to perform on the field, and it's going to be interesting to see what they do with him, with Devondre Campbell, who's, he's wearing the green dot. Will Jalen Smith eventually wear the green dot and be more of a leader? Because Devondre Campbell is a good guy, but he doesn't have the vocal capabilities. I mean, if you've seen Jalen Smith's press conference, he can speak in front of a microphone. He's good. He knows what he's doing. And it doesn't feel fake. Like when Zadarius Smith talks, you can tell he rehearsed stuff. And like there's times I can remember, I know it's off tangent here, but I can remember a couple of Zadarius Smith interviews where he'll start talking and then he'll be like, oh, wait, hold on, let me start over. And then he did, like, because he doesn't realize that it was live now.
Well, he's trying to be funny and
yeah, right. But I mean, like, it's not natural. It's like it's stuff like he has to come up with. It's just not, and we already saw the videos of him. Maybe the teammates don't rally with him and celebrate when he makes a play, blah blah blah. And now I saw a video. I watched a lot of videos of Jalen Smith the last couple of days, and there was one guy who showed a video of Jalen Smith making a play, and nobody else was around him celebrating with him. So maybe it's the same type of thing in Dallas. But if that's the case, then why was he the guy who was getting everybody fired up before the game?
Right.
You know what I mean? It wasn't like he's a paper leader, like just in name. He was actually doing the deed, and it was everybody, the offense and the defense, all around him. Dak Prescott, as well as Micah Parsons and other guys who are fired up, offensive linemen and defensive linemen and Diggs and all these guys were all there. So I just think he has a chance to be the difference that we need. A guy who can rally the troops, but he needs to learn the defense, right? And then also produce on the field. Because it's one thing to say a bunch of stuff, but if you're not a producer on the field, then it doesn't really matter. But he's got the speed. He's got the will, as we know from coming back from his injury in college, to come out and be drafted in the second round when he should have been a high pick, and then fighting through, like you said earlier, with his injury, and training and getting ready to go, and then coming out of it, being a Pro Bowl player, getting a big contract extension. And then people said his game fell off. I don't know. Have you heard anything about what his game is like? I've got a couple things, but I want to have you talk for a little bit because I've been rambling on for too long.
Well, I mean, look, the Cowboys defense was a total mess and a total disaster last year. They haven't been good for such a long time, and their offense wasn't putting them in that good of positions either. But I think their approach was really bad. But you look at Smith, he was born the year I graduated high school. He was born in 95. He's 26 years old, and you take a guy like that, that's motivated, has shown to have work ethic, but now he's playing for a contract. I mean, this, like you said, this is like the perfect opportunity for the Packers. And who knows, for him too, because if he plays, helps his team win the Super Bowl or something like that, he gets a Super Bowl, then he can go sign wherever the heck he wants, right? He doesn't have to worry about, he can take the biggest check, right? Because if you're a player and you're like kind of, a handful of years in, you don't know how many more years you got, maybe a handful more, and you get the Super Bowl at this point, then you're pretty much freed up. And if you ball out and you play awesome, you're going to get that big contract from somebody, because fast guys in the middle, everybody wants, and everybody, well, except for the Packers, but everybody else wants and needs. And the thing I'm not expecting the Packers to have him on the team after this year, regardless of what happens, because he'll either price himself out or he won't live up to what they're hoping, and then they won't want to sign him. But I'm hoping that it opens the eyes of the front office to just how important and impactful and big of a difference it makes for your defense if you got fast guys in the middle who can do some stuff. And I love having him and Campbell together. Let's go. And when Barnes comes,
I'd rather have JOK out there.
Well, yeah, but this is what we got. And, when Barnes comes back, he's a nice player, but he's not that impactful. So leave his ass on the bench. He's a backup. These got to be your guys. These got to be your interior guys that can run, roam, cover, attack, blitz, do all the stuff you need those two inside backers to do. Ty Summers isn't doing it. Barnes, even when he's in there, he's solid but not great. Oren Burks is okay, but he's still Oren Burks. So, and Campbell's been impressive. So I'm excited about what this could mean for the whole defense. Having two guys like that in the middle, we'll see.
Well, here's the thing that I don't is I've heard conflicting opinions on him.
Okay.
On Jalen Smith's game. Okay. Tom Grassi, as well as a couple Cowboys videos I've watched, say that Jalen Smith has been good in coverage this year, but not so good in the run game. Like he's missing holes, he's not getting off blocks, stuff like that. But then Chris Sims talks about Jalen Smith like he's not that great in coverage, but he's good at finding the hole and getting in the backfield and messing stuff up. So I'm like, do I trust Chris Sims, who's a guy who used to play, or do I trust Yahoo guys like you and me, like Tom Grassi and some Yahoos that do Cowboy videos who say that Jalen Smith is, covering okay, but he's not doing so great against the run? I don't know. And they say he's a step slow and all this and that. And I'm like, how is he a step slow when he's not come off an injury or anything? Like he had his injury a long time ago. It's not like not like Jordy Nelson who got hurt and then he came back and it was obviously he was slower. Like it's just the case is what happened, right? This guy who got hurt when he was in college, came out, worked really hard, became a Pro Bowler, and then all of a sudden his play just sucked. No, they had a whole new defense last year. They went from a 4-3 to a 3-4. And he was asked to do different things. And I don't understand like how a guy's production can go. Well, the tackle, see, that's the other problem is remember how Eric Stokes had 8 tackles?
Yeah.
On Sunday's game? Well, he gave up 10 completions. So that's how he had 8 tackles. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's part of the tackle numbers are okay. Maybe he gave up a lot of completions and that's how he got a bunch of tackles. Or it could be a Blake Martinez thing where he's there and he cleans up the mess after guys don't make the play in the inside because they can't, there's big giant holes and he's the only guy who can make a tackle. I don't know. Does he have any pass defense this year? No.
You can't argue with those amount of tackles. You can say that those other things are valid, but at the same time, were the Cowboys getting any pass rush? Were they getting any production there? No. Their defense was atrocious. And then Dak was down and their
ours
offense
is too.
I know, but I'm just saying, dude, even if he's a step slower than he was, that's still a step faster than most guys that the Packers got. So I'll take him. And
you know what I'm
kind of excited about it.
You know what I'm like him for?
No, what?
I think he should be a spy because this season we have to play.
That's a quarterbacks.
Russell Wilson, though I guess Russell Wilson got hurt last night or something because I heard Geno Smith was in the game. I didn't see the game. I just heard that Geno Smith was
Geno Smith sighting.
Geno Smith threw a touchdown. I know that because I heard it on the radio on my way to work last night. But anyways, we got to go against Kyler Murray, Lamar Jackson, Justin Fields. This guy could be a good spy. He's got some decent speed. He's got some good size. The other thing that I think is very interesting is a lot of, we're losing Packer corners. They're going down like flies. We're down to picking up this Douglas guy, right? Who's buddies with Shannon Sullivan. So Shannon's trying to help him learn the defense, which is awesome. But can he play? I don't know. Even Yadam's on the injury report for this week. So you got Kevin King, Yadam, and freaking Jair all possibly out. So this Douglas guy might have to play.
We need some bodies, man.
Yeah, like it's a little wacky, but like, what if we do some Wayne Simmons crap? What if we take these linebackers, let them be the first line defense, play some kind of crazy zone, and put linebackers on the corners, and put the D-backs behind them, and just shove the crap out of the receivers? You got 5 yards to work with.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's still a rule in the NFL. You can chuck within 5 yards. You can push and push and touch within 5 yards. And we all remember what Wayne Simmons did to what was that guy's name? Brent Jones. Brent Jones. In that playoff game in '95.
Brother of Sean Jones.
That was the year before they went to the Super Bowl. But that was the Craig Newsome game. Craig Newsome was beating the crap out of Jerry Rice. And Wayne Simmons was beating the crap out of freaking Jones at tight end for the 49ers in that playoff game. And it was awesome. They were just, Wayne Simmons just freaking cold-cocked the dude, knock him on the ground from the line of scrimmage. Beat the snot out of these guys. Wouldn't that be awesome? Put in these linebackers. Go ahead and put freaking Owen Burks in there. Put Ty Summers in there. Have all 4 of those inside linebackers and run them across the whole defense.
Dude, you're creating like a whole new scheme.
And have them just beat the crap out of dudes. And then you got your defensive backs in the back. If they get beat off line of scrimmage, they cover the deep plays. And then once in a while, you blitz whoever's playing the inside linebacker. One of them is going to blitz. The other 3 guys cover. And then you got the 4 guys in the back that are defensive backs because we were low on defensive backs. So you beat the snot out of dudes. I don't know. Sounds pretty good to me. We finally got a good defense. And not only that, they're saying he's not going to play this week. I think he's going to play. I think LaFleur is just like, oh no. Well, he's not ready. We're not expected. He's not expected to play. Watch him come out and play like almost the whole game.
Just put him in there.
Nuts.
Yeah. Just put him in there. Like he doesn't need to give the calls, but just put him in there and give him, clear assignments and let him play. Let him play fast. Keep it simple. Kiss it, Packers D. Man, Vegas is around. He said, we got to see how he fits into the scheme. I say fit the scheme around him a little bit. If he's a fast inside guy and Campbell's a fast inside guy, but they're not big physical guys, well, then use them different ways.
Well, I've heard he's a big guy. He's
230.
He looks like a monster. Yeah, well, he looks like a monster.
He's all right size.
He's built, he's got like muscles
bigger than
out
Barnes.
Of his ears and
yeah, right.
But it's like, just send them on a couple run blitzes. Do the Packers even know what that is? Like what a run blitz is? Like, do we ever do that? It's when you take your D tackle and your D tackle, kind of holds 2 offensive linemen. It's illegal, but they do it. They just grab them and hold them. And the other D tackle grabs and holds the other 2 offensive linemen. And then there's a big giant gaping hole and you send your linebacker straight through and he messes up the play. It works. Don't do it all the time, but every now and again you can do it. But I don't know. I just think this guy could be a difference maker. Obviously, it's not going to fix our defensive back problem, but it's a thing that could be something. And it's at least he's a talented player who's proven that he's a talented player. And he seems really smart. And he's supposed to be fast. And he can tackle, obviously. He's got all those tackles. So it can't be bad. Especially if you only pay him $700,000.
The basement bargain price, thanks to Jerry Jones. So nice. But Jerry Jones has given the Packers so much. How does he still give?
It doesn't make sense to me. But if they're so worried about I don't know what their cap situation is next year. Maybe it's really terrible, and it probably is with Dak and Zeke both having big contracts. And I think Amari Cooper's got a big contract, so his is coming up or something like that, right? So they've got a lot, and then their offensive linemen that are veterans. I think they're all both on their second contracts, like who those 2 guys, Martin and their guard, whoever the heck his name is. But it's like, so maybe, and they've got that outside linebacker who's got a big contract. What's his name with the long hair? Lawrence?
Yeah. So, right. How does Jerry Jones make these decisions? Like, I guess pressure fixes cornerback problem. Right. If you get pressure, the coverage doesn't have to be that good. But it especially when you saw how Gilmore got moved, right? How they at least got a pick for him. How could the Cowboys not at least get a pick for this guy?
They tried to, but dude, he's got 4 or 5 years left on his deal.
Yeah, okay.
You got to remember that you're trading that entire deal, and you're also trading that $9 million if he gets injured cap hit. And apparently, there's videos online saying that Jalen Smith's, film is bad over the last 2 years. Like he looks like he's running around with the chicken with his head chopped off. He has no idea what he's supposed to be doing. He's in the wrong gaps all the time. He looks like Kamal Martin is what pretty much what people are saying that he looked like.
Okay.
But I don't know if that's because it was the new system, I don't know if it was because there was no pressure on the quarterback and he was trying to make up for the fact that everybody else was bad and he didn't know, inside linebacker, this is the thing that doesn't make any sense. The hardest position on the offensive line is the center. Packers don't respect that position. Yep. The hardest position from a mental and physical, both standpoint to play is inside linebacker. Because you have to watch the running back, you have to watch the quarterback, you have to watch the play fake, you have to look out for the pass, you have to look for a delayed handoff, you have to look out for, the run pass options. I mean, there's so much crap going on, and most of the time you're going to be wrong. The offenses are designed nowadays to trick the inside linebacker all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the 49ers game we just had with the Packers against the 49ers. Fred Warner, do you remember him doing anything in that game? He didn't. The Packers took him out of that game. They tricked him. You can do that. So, and he's one of the best of all time, or at least right now in today's game. So, I don't understand how, maybe he was in a new system and it was just a weird fit. And, when you go from having 4 down linemen in front of you to only having 3, and now you maybe have to worry about more gaps and stuff, that could be an issue, because it's only 3 down linemen, they don't take up as many blocks, and you could be wrong more. You have more gaps to worry about.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I don't know. It's just, it's a different mindset. Maybe it wasn't a good fit for him, which is scary because Packers are supposed to be a 3-4, but we know from watching film, they actually don't usually play a 3-4. They usually play a 4-2-5. Yeah. But now with D-backs hurt, they might have to play a 4-4-3. I don't know. I don't know. Or a 4-3-4. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do.
You make a good observation about inside backer, though, too. It is really tough because, like you said, you're off the ball and you have keys that you got to read. But all these offenses with all the misdirection and other stuff is throwing off your keys. And then on top of that, a lot of times you don't get blocked right away. Or they do these double teams and then scrape off to come get you.
Right. You got to look out for. That's the other thing.
And you don't know where the guys are.
You got to watch the quarterback
from.
Right. Yeah. The quarterback, the running back. Sometimes you're supposed to cover a tight end or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then you got an offensive lineman coming from out of nowhere on a pull or something who's taking you out of the play. You got to watch all those things. All this stuff that's moving around in front of you. It's not like a D lineman. D lineman is like, this guy's in front of me. Like Za'Darius Smith. I got to beat the guy in front of me. That's his job. Real hard. Inside linebackers have a lot of stuff going on, and they have to figure out what the big mess is and keep their eyes on the ball. And I've seen some video of him. I watched him. Some of his past defenses are from the line of scrimmage. They're not just in, when he gets his hand up and knocks the ball down. I've seen him do that a couple times in some of the film I watched. So he's also, that's another thing I like. He's one of the guys who keeps his eye on the ball. Okay? Maybe he's wrong. Maybe he misread the hand, if it was like a handoff and he thought it wasn't or whatever. But he's kind of like Kingsley Keke, where maybe Keke doesn't get pressure every time, but he got his hand up and knocked the ball down on Sunday because he kept his eyes on the quarterback.
Yeah.
And that's worth something. That's a 0-yard next down. Boom. You lost your down. You got 0 yards. That's a good play.
Well, regardless, it's nice to see the Packers make a move when they, when the opportunity presented itself. It's nice that they got him for so cheap, and it's nice it's at a position that they could definitely use upgrades. So overall, I don't see much of an opportunity for a loss here, even if he wouldn't pan out that great, but I think there's a good chance he could be good. And so I still was looking for another upgrade at corner potentially. And I know Lee gave me some crap because he was like, oh, you weren't that worried about Jair's injury, I thought. And you're right, I wasn't, but I was trying to put some hope on there for everybody who was freaking out about Jair's injury. Now, Double Doink pointed out earlier, it looks like he's going to avoid surgery, so that's a good thing. I do think what I said was true, is hey, there's some different ways to play coverage where you can protect your corners a little bit if they're compromised or they're not comfortable. And there's also things you can do, with pass rush. And I hope that's, even with Jair not in there, I hope the Packers realize that if they sit back and play a lot of coverage and don't rush, get an effective rush on the quarterback, it's going to be the same old where guys are going to get open and they're going to, keep driving the ball and completing passes on them. So the message is attack, attack, attack. Keep it simple and attack. That's how you got to play defense at every level, but especially at the NFL. You get burnt once in a while, big deal. You got a good offense. Go with it. Okay, let's move on. But anyway, Jalen Smith will give you your due tonight. Welcome to the team. Glad to have you, sir.
I think he'll be out there on Sunday. I think he will play. Maybe he won't play a lot, but there'll be times where I think they'll be like, just go out there and just do something. Just use your speed and get to the quarterback, or on a blitz, or cover the running back on a man if they play man to man and his assignment is just cover the running back or something like that. They might do it just because he's got athletic ability and whatever. Just throw him out there.
Simplify it. And
he's got to be better than Owen Burks and Ty Summers right now. Ty Summers looks hesitant, and Owen Burks doesn't have a clue. So, come on, let's have a 6-year veteran who's smart and seems to know. The other thing I was going to say, one thing real quick.
Oh yeah, go for it.
He could have signed with any team. Because Packers only gave him $700,000.
Pathetic, but okay.
And he said repeatedly in his press conference he wanted to come and be a Packer. He wanted to play for the Packers. He wanted, and other people were asking him, like one of the questions was like, "Did you have any other offers?" or blah blah blah. And then he just said, "It was like, hey, I wanted to come to the Packers, and I'm happy to be here on a historic team, and all that kind of stuff." So it's cool that maybe he had no other offers. I don't know. I heard some people were saying that there were 3 teams involved trying to get him. And the fact that the Packers played him, veteran minimum, and he came for the veteran minimum. Granted, he's getting $7 million from the Cowboys. Still means he wants to be here. He wants to be on a winning team. He knows that inside linebacker is a weak spot for the Packers, and he can be productive and add exactly possibly what we need here to do something, to make this defense better. So that's cool. Excited to have him here, like you said.
And one other quick note, he is from Fort Wayne, Indiana, so he's at least not from the South. He understands probably what it's like to play in snow, which is something that always concerns me about Packers players when they've never, they always just kind of disappear, a number of them once we get to like the cold weather stuff. Guys that are never played this stuff before or not used to it. He's at least kind of used to it, probably should be okay with that stuff. So good, all good. We do we have any notes on the Bengals? Give us some thoughts in the chat. Who's for the Bengals? We'll talk about that a little bit. Yeah. And then we also have I got a couple of funny tidbits to throw at you before we sign off. So notes on the Bengals, Ben, what do you think?
The only thing I know is their defense is pretty good. Like they've got solid guys in the secondary. They've got a pretty good defense up front. Like Mike Daniels, I don't think he even starts for him. He's more of like a situational guy.
He's on the practice squad. He's a 10-year vet.
He's not even playing.
On the practice squad. Mike D. Like that's crazy.
That's dumb that he's on their practice squad. He should be on our starting roster.
I know.
Like it's honestly stupid.
We could use him
there right now, especially like Jack Heflin got hurt, right? And Lancaster's injured. Like you can't tell me that we can't sign Mike Daniels from the practice squad of the Stukin Bengals and get him on our team and have him help us. You know damn well he would help us. Goody and frickin' these guys need to, and he'd be a good veteran leader. Get him on this team. If they are really honest about trying to get to the Super Bowl and he's just sitting on a practice squad, sign Mike Daniels back.
He would play hard.
You brought Randall Cobb back, and look what he can do. He doesn't have the same speed he used to have, but he goes all out on every play, and he catches every frickin' ball thrown to him, and he's great on third down, and he is the piece we missed, the slot receiver we didn't have for the last 2 years. And you know what we miss? We miss a defensive lineman who just messes stuff up, who gets under the skin of the offensive line and makes them kind of do stupid stuff because he is always annoying and in their face. We don't have that guy.
And he talks.
He talks the whole time.
The time.
Yes. Sign his freaking ass. What the hell are they doing? Anyways, that's the only other thing I know about the Bengals is from watching film last year on wide receivers for the draft. And the reason why, you remember last year I wasn't high on Justin Jefferson, right?
Yep.
And the reason why I wasn't high on him was because I said, the guy doesn't even, nobody covers him. He was always open all the time. You know why he was always open? Because Jamar Chase was double teamed. Because I remember I said, I didn't know what his name was. I kept saying, well, number one is their number one option. That's the guy who gets all the balls. Justin Jefferson gets the screen passes and the slot wide. He's like, there's nobody on him. He's got like a 9-yard cushion. Yeah, he's always open. But this Jamar Chase guy, that guy's nuts. And Joe Burrow looks to him first. And then they had Travis Etienne, who was really good. And they had the tight end, who was good. Like, Justin Jefferson was like the 4th option on that LSU team. And I didn't think he was going to be what he ended up being in the NFL. I thought he was okay. Remember I said he was Geronimo Allison. Yippee. I guess he's better than that. But based on what they had at LSU, Jamar Chase was a freaking monster. And Joe Burrow looked to him all the time. And guess what? Now Jamar Chase is a freaking monster. And Joe Burrow looks to him all the time. He's got over 17 yards a catch this year. And yeah, he had some issues in the preseason with drops, but it seems like that hasn't happened in the regular season. He's figured it out, whatever the problem is, right? They've got a high-powered offense. Their offensive line is shaky, but they've got weapons at wide receiver with Higgins and Boyd and Chase. And Joe Burrow is a first number 1 overall pick who's not a scrub. He's good. He's kind of like, he's like Derek Carr. He's not like super athletic, fast or anything, but he's accurate and he's smart and he knows what he's doing and he can make a play here and there with his feet when he has to. But it's mostly about knowing where to go with the ball and trusting his receivers. And he does all that stuff. And then they still got Joe Mixon at running back, who's pretty dang good. So it's all about their offensive line. So this is another game, just like last week with the Steelers. Can the Packers defensive line take control? Can Kingsley Keke and company do what they did last week? Shove the guy right into his face and mess it up, because that's the weak spot of the Bengals is their offensive line. So our defensive line needs to step up.
Now they are 3-1. Bengals are 3-1, right? Record looks good, but let's take a quick peek here at what we got going on with those Langly Bengals. Here you go. Now they beat the Vikings. Lost to the Bears. Barely, beat the Vikings by 3, lost the Bears by 3, beat the Steelers, who are not very good, 24-10, and the Jaguars 24-21. So
they almost lost that Jaguars game.
Right.
They let them come back. Like they had a huge lead and then they almost blew it.
So we, and Joe Burrow's played well. Look at him. He's at 9 touchdowns, 4 picks, throwing for almost 1,000 yards. He's played well.
Oh, 4 picks.
113.8 rating. And he's in his second year. So, those aren't that impressive wins. So there's still some holes. There's still a team that's, got some room to develop.
Okay, but the Packers beat the Lions and the Steelers and the 49ers with Jimmy Garoppolo. It's not like our wins are very impressive either.
Jimmy Garoppolo.
And we got blown out by the Saints, where they barely lost to the Bears.
Like it says, Mike Daniels and Kumaro sign both.
They don't need Kumaro. I guess I'm sorry. They got enough receivers.
And recruit Tremont to come out of retirement.
That's
one text from Rogers. One text from Rogers to Tremont to come out of retirement.
Yeah, but will they play him? Maybe he'll be like, you're going to sign me again? And have me sit on the bench the whole freaking game, like they did in the NFC Championship game last year.
Well, they play him.
The dumbest move of all time.
They play him this week. They play him.
They got nobody. That's the big concern this weekend.
Right, and they beat the Vikings on a missed field goal. One weird stat in there. So what they did with their defensive line for
double
the Bengals,
doink, he would know about a missed field goal. That's his whole name is Double Doink for a reason.
Right. Pointing out that the Bengals beat the Vikings on a missed field goal, and that's the way they won. Again, the Vikings, man, just terrible luck, but also that's the Vikings. But what they did with their defensive line to shore it up was they have a lot of established players that were pretty good from other teams that they brought in this year. So they got a guy from the Browns, they got a guy from another team, stuff like that to kind of bring in these guys. They got like 3, 4, 5 years experience. And those are kind of the guys that are starting the D line.
Yeah, they don't have Geno Atkins anymore, do they?
No.
And they got rid of Carlos Dunlap last year. They traded him halfway through the year to the Seahawks.
And yeah, when I saw Mike Daniels on their practice squad, I was like, what the hell is going on? But really anyway, weird. Packers could totally use that guy. So I don't know what you can just go pluck him. Practice squad, you pluck him. That's the thing. They've done
that even makes me more mad now that you told me that.
Sorry, I saw that 2 days ago and I was like, what the hell? Mike Daniels on their practice squad? It's so weird because I understand you can have veterans in the practice squad, but most of the other guys are pretty young, or maybe they got like 3-4 years experience. Mike Daniels, 10 years of experience sitting on the Bengals practice squad. Dumb. One weird thing I noticed though is Logan Wilson. Okay, Logan Wilson is starting for him. You remember
inside linebacker? Yep, I liked him last year.
Akeem Davis Gaither is rookie, got to play some. He's doing okay.
Yep. He was another guy I watched. He was pretty good.
But Wilson has 3 picks already on this young season.
Yeah, he was good at Colorado last year. He was one of the guys I liked. I wanted them to take him.
He was from Wyoming.
Round.
He's from Wyoming.
Wyoming. Okay, yeah. Fine. Well, I knew he's from somewhere over there.
But he must, he's got to have pretty good hands with 3 picks, but he's also got to be aware.
He was the first he was the first pick of the third round last year.
Yeah, I think so.
He was like the number. So he was kind of like the last. You know what I mean? Like he would have had. The Packers would have got him. They would have given up drafted him instead of AJ Dillon.
Maybe not bad.
Yeah, probably.
Or maybe if they kept their 4th round pick, they might have been able to.
Yeah, well, whatever. They screwed.
But anyway,
more than words can say.
All history. But just an interesting.
We need you now.
An interesting thing to point out. I mean, the guy's an inside backer and he's got 3 interceptions already. That's kind of rare. But it also tells you that he probably watches the quarterback well, pays attention to what's going on well, and clearly plays the ball well. So watch out for him in the middle, because those guys in the middle that are, I mean, look.
Rodgers doesn't throw it in the middle.
Sometimes if he's looking to Randy Cobb, you got to throw to that little guy in the middle, and there's Logan Wilson. Hopefully not. Anyway, the other weird thing to me that I just remember from recent years Bengals games, because you only play them every 4 years, is it always seems to be like a struggle game.
It always is.
God, they just play them tough. And I mean, even you take it down to the last second finish, the throw to Jordy at Lambeau last time, you take it to that crazy freaking game where they had no running backs left. I think that was in 2013 or something. Where it was like Jonathan Franklin was in there after everybody else is hurt. And then there's one guy, and then he got hurt, and they had actually no running backs left by the end of the game. I mean, I think they lost that one too. Yeah, I think they did. Anyway, it just seems to be like a struggle, and I hope this is even as bad as the Bengals have been. It still just seems to be tough.
Well, the last time we played the Bengals, we needed Josh Jones to have a superhuman game. The only time he ever looked good in his whole career.
That's right.
And he did. He stopped the guy on 4th down, which saved the game, because for some reason Andy Dalton decided to throw a negative -1 yard pass to a guy on 4th and 1. And Josh Jones got in there, made the play, made the tackle.
Oh no. Okay. Rick gives us an update. I was just going to go to that. Now, Rick, thank you to your update, bringing this up. Now, Rick sent us a really funny text that he was see you later, I guess. Take care, buddy. And our thoughts and sympathy with you, my friend.
Yeah.
But to give you a couple things, then we'll do final scores. We'll give scores and get the heck out of here, because I don't have a lot of other thoughts. The Packers just need to play well. They just need to be ready to play. It's a noon game. It's their first noon game in a while.
Yeah, I got a bad feeling about that. I think they're going to be, if it's on CBS or Fox.
They got to wake their asses up and be ready to go. Rodgers talked about that too. He's like, it's a different, schedule and mindset, and guys got to be ready. I think it's probably, I don't know if it's on Fox or CBS. Tell us if you know. Double Doink.
I got a feeling I'm not going to be able to watch it live.
Hopefully you can.
I don't think so. I'll have to watch it after it's over.
All right. We'll give scores here. You can throw scores in if you want. Ben and I'll give our scores in a minute. Rick brings us up, though. There was a legendary Packers jersey he found in an online auction. And
legendary.
Said it went for $50. He did not win it.
A legendary Packer signed a jersey.
Legendary.
And legendary. And it went for only $50.
Here it is.
That's insane. It should be worth more than that.
This is what Rick came across. Rick came across Network for Good. He's autographed Eddie Lacy autographed jersey, Green Bay Packers legend. Had 0 bids to start. Starting bid was $25. Starting bid $25. And then Rick sent us an update. He'll give you the update. So that was when it first started. Then he sent us an update, which then said this. Eddie Lacy autographed, 0 bids. 0 bids. And he said
$15.
Oh no, that's the one up above here. He's still 25. He's like, no one bid on it yet. No one bid on it yet. But it finally did go for a grand total. Your autographed Eddie Lacy, worn in-game 4X jersey, worn by the legend himself in the 4X. Game. Went for 25. 4X. I mean, $50. $50. Sorry.
4X. You don't know. It might have been his rookie year jersey.
Come on. What jersey size do you think he was by the end? Come on.
Yeah, by the end, but that was probably a rookie jersey. Nobody wanted his autograph in his 4th year. And then he went to the Seahawks, and nobody wanted anything to do with him after that 1 year there. No, he hasn't been in the league since.
Oh, it's in Minnesota. That's so weird. Why Eddie Lacy jersey in Minnesota, man? Maybe he was an Alabama legend, but certainly not a Packers legend. Sorry, that's overblown there. Now I got one other thing to show you that came across. Happened in my home. In my home, unbeknownst to me. I woke up one day. I came to. I went into the bathroom. Okay, this is a bathroom store. And I have to.
You stepped in dog poop.
I have to show you what I saw when I walked into that bathroom. I have to show it to you.
Dog poop.
So I walk into the bathroom, and this is what I find. This is what I see. Now, my daughter has been playing a bunch of pranks lately. So she's been big into pranks. I don't know what's going on, but all of a sudden she wants to prank everybody and do all this sort of stuff and prank. So she's been doing them left and right. So she set this up before bed. So like the first person that would come into the bathroom in the morning, this is what they'd see. And it was pretty damn funny. I laughed. So
if your toilet was green, it would look like Kermit the Frog is smoking a cigar.
I know. It's super funny. She's been doing other wild stuff too. She's trying to prank.
That's better. I thought it was going to be like dog poop all over the place. That would have been way
worse. No, we're not going there. Anyway, I thought that was pretty fun. All right, so back to the Packer news as we wrap it up. Double Doink kicks us off with the score here for the Bengals game. Again, it's in Cincinnati. It's an early game. Hopefully the Packers are ready to go. That's the big thing. But I think they're prepared for that mentally. Double Doink says 34-27 Packers. Another kind of tight nail biter game. I'm hoping it's not that, but that could be it. And remember, we're tracking your scores, and the closest to the actual score gets a fart gun salute on the game review on Tuesday night. So 34-27, Double Doink says Packers win. I'm going to say 38-21 Packers win more convincingly. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling like they're going to do it. They're going to get a couple turnovers. They're going to be clicking on offense. I think they're going to do it. They're going to be ready to go. 38-21 Packers. Ben?
24-20 Packers.
Woo. 24-20 Packers.
Yeah.
See if Rick's got anything here. Oh, man. Double Doink. Just talking about the Lacy jersey. I don't know if the feed's live chat's kind of slow here or what. I think it might be. I didn't see mom and dad tonight. Maybe they forgot, or maybe they fell asleep in their chairs. You know, that could happen too.
Yeah.
It's probably the more likely thing.
If I had a chair, I'd fall asleep in it.
Oh, here we go. Rick says 27-20 Pack wins. Joshua George, 27-21. Just taking that $1 above Rick. He didn't plan it that way, but he did. 27-21 Packers. That's what Josh George says. Josh, how you doing? Josh kicking our butt in fantasy, by the way. Nice work.
Say, we have to look at the fantasy stats.
All right, I'll pull that up.
I lost again.
Pull that up here. Give me a second.
I lost in both leagues this year. I lost to stupid Eckes. Whatever.
Eckes is, he's got that Eckes luck going.
He had two guys who scored over 30 points.
My teams are not good. Let me just be honest with you.
My teams are bad except for my quarterback, Justin Herbert. So that's good because he's the best quarterback in the league.
Well,
Wildman says 30-17. Wildman.
30-17. We'll see. All right, let's take a peek at the fantasy here. I got her pulled up now. And let's see how things are going. All right. The Hafeman Bros Fantasy Football League. This is what we got going right now. Let's check the standings. Long Tooth Decay, first place. Hop around. Josh, congrats, man. Doing well. 3-1. Eckes, lucky 3-1. Dang, Eckes. Purple Rain. Dang it. Why does Viking Mo with his ugly Viking head in there at 3-1? I don't like it. And Zero doing well. Also making up some sneaky good pickups too. He's on top of the free agents and stuff. Zero doing well at 3-1. Look at all those 3-1 teams. Man, doing pretty good. And then we have some drop-offs. Then we get to This Is the Way at 2-2, Bucks and 6, who I'm hoping I'll beat this week, Bucks and 6. I'm hanging in there 2-2. Corey Bayless, after a hot start, he's dropped 2 in a row. Ben, sorry I had to beat you last week, so you're 1-3. And poor Rick.
You didn't beat me last week. Agus beat me.
Oh, I thought I beat. Oh, no, that's right. Did you beat me?
I beat you the week before.
Oh, Jesus. I lost to you? Damn.
Yeah.
What the heck?
That's
so
my only win.
Great. Well, you're welcome. And Rick hanging in there. Rick's having some bad luck. Does Rick have most points scored against him again? Of course he does. God dang it, Rick.
551.
No wonder Rick never wanted
Look at Mom. Even Mom, who has no
Mom.
points, he's got 540 points against her.
Why does it have to work out that way? So mean. That's just not nice. Anyway, Mama's going to knock you out. Rick trying to turn it around this week. Let's see who we got for the matchups. We got I'm heading with Bucks and 6. Turtleheads.
Yeah, Eckes has got 47 points already, 45 points already.
Come on, Rick. Cabooters get their first win and knock down those Turtleheads. Sorry, Eckes, I love you, but I always like it when you don't have teams running away with stuff and teams on the bottom. I want it to be more competition throughout, more evenly matched, and keep it interesting to the end. Ben, you got Corey Bayless this week. Got a good chance. Ooh,
battle of ineptitude.
Tight one. This Is the Way. Come on. This Is the Way. Knock that Viking down. Mama's going to knock you out trying to get her first win and knock down a 3-1 team in 0. See if Mom can do it.
Feels pretty good.
Hop around a long tooth decay. So one of those
1 against 2.
Ooh. Like that. One of you guys will lose this week, and that will help the rest of us who are below you. So we'll see how it all goes. Give you an update. Give an update next week. Okay. That's fantasy. Right. Those are the scores. Wild Man gets the last one in. Oh no, Mom's here. Mom got in there. She says Packers win 32-27. So Dad had a
close one.
Dad had 30-17 pack. Mom says 32-27. So a lot of people thinking it's going to be still close with the Bengals, and I don't like it. Can I just have a relaxing game where I can just sit back and enjoy and eat some snacks and drink a beer and not be stressed out? I'd feel good about that. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. All right, bro. You guys are awesome. Appreciate you. Appreciate you hanging out with us. And I don't know. I'll try better next time my fireside chat if I can get motivated to do that again. It's also weather dependent. But Ben, I think any other scheduling changes, Ben? Or Tuesday still good for you? I forget.
Maybe.
Okay. All right. Well, TBD there. We'll keep you posted.
As far as I know right now, I'm scheduled at 10 o'clock.
Okay.
I'm scheduled at 9 o'clock on Sunday and Monday night. So,
and if you missed the beginning of the show and you don't go back and watch it, just remember that Ben invented these head sleeves and could have been a millionaire, but he didn't realize the power he had, how this is going to take off 25 years later. Poor Ben.
Yeah, but rub it in.
What do? We move on, just like the Packers. All right. Stay safe. Be well. Peace out. Be good. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the Packers game.